In the studio right now for another edition of the New North, live and direct. My man Shad is in the house. What up, man?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, welcome. First of all, welcome to the Real Frequency Show. First time, having you on. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
A lot of big things happening for you. You're touring right now in support of your second album. It's called The Old Prince.
Yep.
Tell us why you chose that title, man.
The Old Prince, it's like a whole kind of story. It's all in the liner notes, but it's like this image came to mind one day of like this old dude kind of in his room in his castle playing video games, And to me, like, it struck me as like a funny image, but it was like kind of a metaphor for like a lot of, I guess, kind of everybody in life, kind of there's a place where we're supposed to be like kings, you know what I mean? But, sometimes we're old princes. Like, the whole idea was like a prince is old, they're supposed to be a king, but sometimes we stuck in that position of like, we're royalty, but we don't ascend to that real level of responsibility that we're supposed to kind of be at.
You end up getting caught up.
You end up getting caught up, and for some reason, you're royalty. You're a prince. You're in the castle. But you're not taking on that position.
You haven't entirely fulfilled your destiny.
Exactly.
You got that hanging over your head.
Exactly. So it was like kind of sad, kind of funny, kind of image. So, and then a lot of the stuff I was writing and just kind of seeing around me was like relating to that. So that became the kind of loose concept.
Well, it's definitely like a dope way of looking at where you are in your life, you know what I mean? And it's a dope metaphor for encompassing that, because the album definitely sort of goes across a series of emotions, you know what I mean? And like there's a lot of different songs on there, but in particular there's a song on there called Brother, which is the video right now. For those that don't know, if you want to hit up myspace.com/Shad, you can check the video out for yourself.
Okay.
And But in that song, you kind of deal directly with the issue of young black youth and identity, and how identity is shaped.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting question, because we're surrounded and we're bombarded by so many messages every day. How do you separate yourself from that? Like, what makes certain people prey to that, do you think, and other people not? Because I mean, you know what I mean? You could grow up your whole life and listen to hip-hop and never even see a gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you could also do the same thing and end up on the wrong path. Like, what do you think makes that happen in people?
I personally, I think that like 99.99% of us are products of just everything that we see, what's around us, where we're born, kind of. I think 99.99% of us are that, and it's really that simple, I think that there's like a tiny fraction of the population that's like an Oprah Winfrey, who's like born in a certain circumstance and becomes a billionaire, just because I think like the human imagination can only see so far beyond their own circumstances and beyond your own range of experiences and the images that are presented, So that's a lot of what I kind of talk about in that song, is like, I think the contemporary issue, like around race for like young black youth, is not necessarily like huge systemic barriers, like, you're not allowed to, say, sit in a certain seat or something like that. It's more, we're still products of the images that we see, because it's hard, as any human being, it's hard to see beyond that range of possibilities that's presented to you. If you grow up and and something is all you see and everybody is in a certain position, it's very difficult for you to step outside of that and say, no, I can do something different. It's next to impossible, I would say.
Well, it's because 95% of it is being aware of the possibilities. If you're not aware of the possibilities, you're not going to even know that potential exists in you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like if that's the only images of black people that you see, you're not going to think that you can be something else, because you don't see it. And most of us don't have that kind of special gift to be able to see outside of it.